Hello everybody, this is Dan Bigman, your GPR professor from LearnGPR.com, coming at you today with another video. And I just want to say this, a lot of people have reached out to me to say that I've helped them, that they've learned from me, but I got to tell you all, the community, the LearnGPR community, I have learned so much from all of you as well. And in today's video, I'm going to give you an idea that I got from somebody who was attending a talk that I gave, a presentation I gave the other day at a conference. It was a meeting for an association. By the way, if you have an association and you want me to come and do a talk, just go to LearnGPR.com and fill out the contact info, and we're happy to do that for you. But it was about an idea that I speak about all the time, right? So I get information from everywhere I can get it, and I try to bring it to you, right? All good ideas I bring to the LearnGPR community. So I'm giving this presentation, and one of the ideas I talk about in our online courses, when we do our workshops, when I do talks, is the idea about controlling what you can control, right? I always say that GPR work is difficult enough as it is, and you should do everything you can in your power to reduce the effects of outside forces on your data quality or outside forces on your possibility for a successful conclusion to your project, because it's already difficult, right? It's already difficult. So control what you can control to make it easier on yourself and to try to come out with the most successful outcome possible. And so some of the ways that we talk about this are turning off your cell phone or putting it in airplane mode. It's very clear that the cell phone can influence your data and fuzz it up and put high frequency kind of noise in there. I'll try to remember to put a link to that video below in the description. But that's one way, right? Another way I always talk about is working on site during ideal conditions. And if you reach out to a customer and they say, we want you to come now, we need your work now, we need you to come survey now, we want our information now, which they say, but it's raining, you might tell them that it's not the right time and that it's not ideal. The rain is going to create a more conductive soil situation. It's going to be more difficult to see deeper, and maybe it can come tomorrow after it dries out a little bit. Or if you look at the weather station and you see it's going to rain for the next 3 days, ask them if you can come out next week. If they say no, you got to go out anyway, but you got to warn them about the limitations. But if you can go out next week or in the next day when it's not raining, when it's the soil is not as wet, it's not as conductive, and you can maximize your depth, that would be something you can control, right? If you can say, look, let's work tomorrow. So I'm in this talk and I have somebody from the audience kind of raise their hand and reach out with a comment, and they gave a great example of controlling what you can control. So they said that they were working on the coast one time, which generally is not ideal conditions to begin with, right? It's already a problem because you have high salinity, you have salt water. Salt water can just kill your signal, eat your signal up. And I mean, I've worked on the coast before where we basically get no signal, right? Within centimeters of the ground surface, like your signal's just done. It's finished. We give actually one of those examples in our course. And so, but they were working on the coast. So my point is, it's not ideal. But what they said was that the way that they controlled what they can control is they waited for low tide. And by waiting for low tide, it reduced the water table literally within the same day, right? It reduced the water table. They waited till the tide went out, and they were able to see deeper during low tide than they were during high tide. It wasn't totally ideal, but it gave them enough depth to locate the pipe that they were looking for. It was a pipe in this case. And I wouldn't necessarily even think about that, right? Every single site is unique. There's a unique set of circumstances. And, in the courses that I talk about controlling what you can control, I always talking about, my list is not exhaustive. And so I say, be alert, because there may be other things that are around you that can affect your data quality or affect a successful outcome or minimize the likelihood of a successful outcome that you won't even preconceive of until you get on site. And so for this individual, they found that waiting till low tide, waiting till the tide went out, gave them enough of a contrast, in the situation where they were able to get that signal deeper. They waited. They said they waited. They waited for low tide. They went when it was, when they got there. I guess it was kind of high tide at the time. They weren't able to see deep. They waited for several hours till low tide came in. Or kind of right when the water went out and low tide, was there. And they said it gave them enough depth at that point to see the target that they were looking for. Another time, a time that this was effective for me was I was on a site. There was a train track that went right through the site. The train came in. Look, that train can certainly cause like an air wave. The ground rumble might affect, the quality, but probably more to the point is the air wave. As the train's approaching, you're going to see things that you otherwise wouldn't see. And so I stopped when the train passed. I started again. So the train coming, I stopped. Train passed. I started again. So be alert. Every site is unique. Every site is different. Has its kind of own little quirks. So if there's something that you've done right in the past when you've been on site to try to maximize your likelihood of success, where you were able to control something that you can control, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear a time that you controlled something that you can control, which helped lead to a successful outcome on your survey. But I just loved what this gentleman said, at this presentation, at this conference, and it was just right on point. They waited, and the difference was a successful survey from an unsuccessful survey. Just waiting a few hours, waiting until the tide went out, the water table was lowered, and they were able to capitalize on it. So if you like this video, if you like that idea, I loved it. If you liked it, then click the like button here, that thumbs up. If you like the video, you feel it has value for others, please share it around and make sure that you subscribe to this channel, please. If you do, you'll get notified immediately when we come out with new videos. And make sure to go over to LearnGPR.com, put your name and email address in, and get our free introductory video. It's a 40-minute long video where we go over the basics and fundamentals of ground penetrating radar, and then we will send you these videos to your inbox every single week. Thanks so much. Good luck with your surveys.